Burkina Faso's young and fearless leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has just made another groundbreaking move on the global stage. This time, he has struck gold, securing a massive $50 million coal deal with Qatar. But what does this mean for Burkina Faso? How will it reshape the nation's energy future? And why is the world paying close attention? Today, we dive deep into the deal that could change everything for West Africa's rising star. Burkina Faso has been under the spotlight since Ibrahim Traoré rose to power in 2022. Known as Africa's youngest leader, he has been vocal about breaking free from neo-colonial control, asserting sovereignty, and putting the nation's resources back in the hands of its people. Now, by striking a $50 million coal agreement with Qatar, Traoré is making headlines once again. This deal is more than just about coal. It's about energy independence, economic growth, and positioning Burkina Faso as a serious player on the African for decades. Burkina Faso has struggled with energy shortages. Rolling blackouts, expensive imports, and weak infrastructure have limited the nation's growth. Nearly 70% of Burkina Faso's population lacks access to reliable electricity, stifling industries, hospitals, and schools. Coal, despite global debates about renewable energy, remains one of the fastest and most affordable ways to generate consistent power. For a developing nation like Burkina Faso, coal provides a transitional solution to meet immediate energy demands while gradually moving towards greener options in the future. Qatar, a global energy giant, sees an opportunity here. While Qatar is better known for oil and natural gas, its investments in coal and infrastructure abroad signal a new direction, supporting strategic partners like Burkina Faso in building energy capacity. So what's inside this historic deal? Coal supply and development. Qatar will supply coal resources and technology for Burkina Faso's new power plants. Infrastructure investment. Part of the $50 million will go into building energy infrastructure, plants, transport, and storage facilities. Job creation. Thousands of jobs will be created in mining, construction, and energy sectors. Technology transfer. Qatar has agreed to provide expertise, ensuring Burkina Faso's engineers and workers gain vital skills. Long-term partnership. This isn't a one-off. It opens the door to future investments in gas, oil, and even renewables. This means Burkina Faso will not only gain energy security, but also the skills and tools to sustain itself for decades to come. Ibrahim Traoré has consistently emphasized that Africa must own its resources. In his speeches, he warns against depending on foreign powers that exploit Africa's wealth without lifting its people out of poverty. By partnering with Qatar, outside the usual Western players, Traoré is showing that Burkina Faso can choose its allies and strike deals on its own terms. This is not aid or charity, it's business, and business that benefits Burkina Faso first. This move fits into Traoré's larger vision. Energy independence. No more reliance on expensive imports. Economic growth. Reliable power will attract investors, industries, and development. African solidarity. Deals like this inspire other nations to look beyond Europe and America for partnerships. The world is watching. Western nations. Some see this as another sign of Africa turning away from former colonial powers. They worry about losing influence. African leaders. Many are applauding Traoré's boldness. Leaders across Africa are taking notes on how Burkina Faso, once dismissed as a small, struggling nation, is making moves that rival giants. Qatar. For Qatar, this deal expands their footprint in Africa and strengthens ties with a region rich in untapped potential. But there's also criticism. Climate activists argue coal is a step backward in the fight against climate change. Traoré's response. Africa cannot be lectured about renewables while Europe still burns coal and imports African resources without giving fair returns. This $50 million deal could spark a ripple effect across the economy. Stable power supply. Consistent electricity will reduce business costs, helping small and large enterprises grow. Industrial boost. From mining to agriculture, industries depend on reliable energy. Burkina Faso's GDP could see a significant rise. Job creation. Thousands of direct and indirect jobs in construction, engineering, and mining. Education and health. Schools and hospitals will finally get stable power, improving quality of life. Investment magnet. Reliable infrastructure attracts global investors, creating a cycle of growth. Burkina Faso could move from being one of the world's poorest nations to a self-reliant energy hub in West Africa. Of course, every big move comes with risks. Debt dependence. Will Burkina Faso remain financially independent, or will this deal lead to new forms of dependency? Environmental concerns. Coal is polluting. Without proper safeguards, the country could face health and climate issues. Political pressure. Western powers may push back, using sanctions or diplomacy to discourage African nations from striking independent deals. Execution risks. Infrastructure projects in Africa often face delays, corruption, or mismanagement. Traoré will have to ensure transparency and accountability if this deal is to succeed long-term. This deal isn't just about Burkina Faso, it's part of a larger African awakening. From Niger's uranium, to Mali's gold, to Guinea's bauxite, West Africa is rich in resources. But for decades, these resources benefited outsiders more than Africans. Leaders like Traoré are flipping the script, saying, Africa first, Africa owned, Africa led. The Qatar deal shows that Africa has options. It can choose its partners, negotiate better terms, and refuse to be boxed into neo-colonial dependence. Ibrahim Traoré's $50 million coal deal with Qatar is more than just business. It's a statement. A statement that Burkina Faso will not remain in the shadows. A statement that Africa can take control of its future. And a statement that young leaders with courage and vision can rewrite history. Whether you love or criticize this deal, one thing is clear. Ibrahim Traoré is determined to power Burkina Faso's rise, and the world has no choice but to watch.